Welcome to another deep dive. This time we're heading into the world of the Golden Compass. I'm sure you've probably already read this one, so we're going straight into the good stuff.
Well, we're going to look at the deeper stuff underneath.
Yeah, beyond the surface, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So this is the first book in His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman.
Right. And what's really cool is how Pullman, he introduces us to this world, this whole new world, through the eyes of this young girl, Lyra Belacqua. She lives in Jordan College, Oxford.
Oh, but it's not the Oxford we know, is it?
Not quite, no.
It's got this, magical realism twist to it.
Yes.
So we have scholars, libraries, all that good stuff. But we also have these incredible beings called demons. And these demons are animal companions that are actually a manifestation of a person's soul.
Yeah, it's like having your inner self walking right beside you.
Walking right beside you, yeah.
It makes you think, what would those conversations be like? But also there are some questions about privacy and identity.
Oh, absolutely.
But right away, right from the very start, we see Lyra witnessing something kind of shocking, something that really shatters that perceived safety of Jordan College.
Oh, absolutely.
Her uncle, Lord Asriel, is being targeted for assassination by the Master.
Such a shocking opening scene.
Really grabs you.
Right. You're kind of like, whoa, where are we going with this? Lyra, she's always sneaking around, always curious. She sneaks into this forbidden retiring room, and she overhears this whole plot against Lord Asriel.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's more than just some personal betrayal, doesn't it? It hints at this much bigger, much more sinister thing happening within a college itself. What do you think the Master's motives are here?
That's a great question. It really raises questions about power dynamics within the college. Why does the Master feel so threatened by Lord Asriel? What is it about his research on dust?
Yes.
And this mysterious city he's found in the Aurora Borealis? Why is there so much fear and opposition to this?
Yeah, and Lord Asriel himself is such a striking figure.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the way Pullman describes him, he bursts into the room, this towering figure with a fierce, dark face, right? He's like this force of nature.
Absolutely.
He's a stark contrast to those kind of stuffy scholars,
He doesn't fit into their little world of academia and control, does he?
Not one bit, no.
And his demon, the snow leopard, oh man, it just adds to this image of untamed power and independence.
Oh, totally. Okay, so let's get back to the demons. Can you talk a little bit more about what they represent in this world? How do they function?
Yeah, so demons, they're physical manifestations of a person's soul, always visible. And get this, they can change form until puberty.
Oh, wow.
So just imagine 1 minute your demon is like a moth.
Right.
The next, it's a wildcat. It's wild.
I know. It makes you wonder, as you're growing up, your demon's changing. Is that shaping your personality in some way?
It makes you think, right? Yeah, and it does highlight that connection between a human and their demon. But like we said, it also brings up those questions about privacy and, your own sense of self.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Lyra's demon, Penthelemana, he's constantly shifting. 1 minute he's a moth, the next a wildcat, then an ermine. It's like her personality is still taking shape.
It's fluid. It's ever-changing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. She's young. She's still developing. Her soul hasn't settled into a single form yet.
Right.
Think about how that connects to her journey throughout the whole book. She's exploring who she is, her place in the world. It's all tied together.
And then there's this chilling detail. Right. About these skulls in the crypt having demon coins. These tiny little metal discs engraved with the image of their demons. Yeah. It's such a powerful reminder that this bond between human and demon, it endures, even in death.
It makes you think, does death really mean an ending in this world, or is it just another transformation?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Pullman really emphasizes the significance of demons, right? I mean, they're not just pets.
No.
They're an integral part of a person's being, a reflection of their very soul. Makes you think about the nature of the soul itself.
Yeah.
Is it fixed? Is it unchanging? Or is it something that can actually evolve and grow? So we've got this richly imagined world, this really captivating concept of demons. And then, of course, we've got these mysteries surrounding dust. And the Gobblers, this shadowy organization rumored to be abducting children. What stands out to you about Lyra's world at this point in the story?
I think for me, it's that sense of mystery and danger lurking beneath the surface. Her world seems so magical and full of wonder, but also so dangerous at the same time. And you can't help but get drawn into her adventures, wondering what she'll encounter next.
It's like this whole other layer of intrigue gets added, right?
Yeah.
Because then, into this world of scholars and demons, in sweeps Mrs. Coulter. I mean, talk about a woman who embodies allure and danger.
Absolutely.
She seems like this breath of fresh air for Lyra at first. You know, offering all this excitement, this chance to escape Jordan College.
To see the world.
To see the world, right?
Yeah. Mrs. Coulter is such a fascinating character, really. She's beautiful, intelligent, powerful. But there's something about her, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Something unsettling.
Pullman describes her as having this, like, radiance.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's masking something darker underneath.
I was really struck by the description of her demon.
Oh, yeah?
That golden monkey. Always watching, assessing, never really revealing his true nature.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Does the demon reflect the person, or can it actually influence the person?
Oh, that's a great question. That really blurs the lines of identity and responsibility.
Yeah, like if your demon is capable of independent thought and action, to what extent are you accountable for its behavior?
Right.
And how much control do you really have over your own soul?
And remember when dust was mentioned? How the golden monkey reacted?
Yo.
His fur bristled. Mrs. Coulter had to, physically restrain him. It's like dust holds some kind of power over demons. Or maybe triggers this primal fear.
Yeah, it's almost like a warning, like this little red flag about Mrs. Coulter. What is it about dust that makes her demon react so violently?
Exactly.
And why is she so determined to control information about it?
That's a key moment for sure, because it links her directly to the mystery surrounding dust.
Yeah.
It foreshadows the danger that she represents.
Speaking of control, the master gives Lyra the alethiometer.
Oh, right.
This incredible truth-telling device. But he makes her promise to keep it secret from Mrs. Coulter. Do you think he already sensed something was off about her?
It's possible, yeah. I mean, the alethiometer represents knowledge, the ability to unlock hidden truths. And that's something that the church, particularly Mrs. Coulter, seems determined to suppress. Why are they so afraid of knowledge? What are they trying to hide?
And Lyra's fascinated by the alethiometer. She spends hours trying to understand it, like this puzzle she's desperate to solve.
Like a way for her to gain control over her own destiny?
Exactly. But it also sets her on this collision course with Mrs. Coulter. The scene where Mrs. Coulter's demon attacks Pantalaimon. It's brutal. It's terrifying.
It shows you her true nature.
Right. The violence lurking beneath that charming facade.
It's a warning to Lyra, don't cross me.
Yeah, but even with that fear, Lyra rebels. She discovers Mrs. Coulter's connection to the Gobblers, who turn out to be the General Oblation Board.
Right.
And she makes this daring escape.
That escape, it's a huge turning point. I mean, Lyra's not a naive child anymore, protected by Jordan College. She's alone.
Out in the world.
Facing real danger.
Relying on her wits and courage to survive.
It's a whole new ballgame.
It is. She's forced to confront the darker side of this world, encountering that creepy man with the lemur demon who tries to trick her. But she also finds allies, right?
Oh, yeah. The Egyptians.
The Egyptians.
A nomadic, water-faring people, getting ready to head north to rescue the missing children.
Including Tony Costa's brother, Billy. The Egyptians, I think, they represent a different way of life, one that's more in tune with nature and tradition. They value family, community. Freedom. They're not bound by the same rules and structures as the scholars in Jordan College. They're almost like a source of knowledge for Lyra.
Like a new family.
Yeah, a new family. John Fea, their leader, so strong and decisive. Farder Coram, such a wise elder. He teaches Lyra about the alethiometer, helps her unlock its secrets.
It's like she's finding her people.
Yeah, the people who accept her and support her journey. Their journey takes them north, away from the comforts of Lyra's world. They come across the breathless ones, victims of this horrifying practice by the Tartars.
That encounter, it really highlights the connection between life and death in this world, and the lengths people will go to control others.
It's a reminder that even in this world of magic and demons, there's cruelty and suffering.
And it makes you wonder what's waiting for them at Bolvangar.
Right.
Because it gets even darker.
But even in the darkness, there are glimmers of hope.
Yeah. Yeah. The arrival of Serafina Pekkala's daemon, that beautiful goose,
Oh, yeah.
it confirms the existence of other worlds.
Wow.
And hints at Dust's role in connecting them. It opens up all these possibilities, suggesting there's so much more to this world than Lyra ever imagined.
And then there's Iorek Burnison, the armored bear.
Stripped of his rank.
Exiled. He's powerful, fierce, but capable of such loyalty and compassion. He agrees to help the Egyptians, but only if they help him retrieve his stolen armor.
He represents a different kind of power, doesn't he? One that's rooted in nature and instinct.
Yeah.
He's not bound by the same social structures as humans. And his exile, the theft of his armor, it raises these questions about justice and honor, about what it really means to be free.
Lyra uses the alethiometer to locate Iorek's armor, showing her growing skill with this device. She's becoming more confident in her abilities, more willing to trust her instincts.
Makes you wonder if her connection to the alethiometer is tied to her destiny somehow.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. I mean, it seems to respond to her unique way of thinking, her ability to connect these seemingly random ideas. Maybe it's leading her towards something bigger, a role she's meant to play in all of this.
Okay, so we have Lyra with her wits and this alethiometer journeying north with Egyptians, encountering witches, facing danger, uncovering secrets, and all the while, this threat of Bolvangar hanging over them, the place where the General Oblation Board is conducting those horrific experiments.
It makes you wonder what awaits them at Bolvangar. Will they be able to rescue the children? What will they discover about the true nature of Dust? And what role will Lyra play in this fight against those forces that want to control knowledge and freedom?
Bolvangar. Even just saying it, it sends chills down your spine. This desolate outpost in the Arctic, the place where the General Oblation Board is conducting these horrific experiments.
Severing children from their demons.
It's just
unimaginable.
What gets me about Bolvangar is how it's presented as this place of healing and progress. The adults in charge, they use these euphemisms like intercision
to describe this brutal act, the severing of a child from their demon.
It's a perversion of language.
Yeah.
A way to mask the cruelty.
Absolutely.
But Lyra, with her sharp mind and connection to the alethiometer, she sees right through it.
She's not fooled.
Not for a second.
She's thrown into this chaotic environment, but she adapts so quickly, adopts the persona of Lizzie Burks. She blends in.
And she even manages to reunite with Roger.
It's bittersweet, isn't it?
It is. They find each other in this terrifying place, finding comfort in their shared connection.
But surrounded by fear and uncertainty.
Absolutely. Lyra learns about the experiments firsthand, from the other children.
And their stories. A mix of fear and resilience.
So powerful. They talk about dust, about measurements, about the chilling presence of Mrs. Coulter.
Oh, man.
The fact that she's overseeing these experiments, it adds another layer to her character.
Doesn't it?
I mean, on one hand, she's powerful, driven, this thirst for knowledge, but on the other, her actions are monstrous.
It makes you question her motivations. Is she a true believer in the General Oblation Board's mission? Or is there something else driving her? Something deeper, maybe even personal?
Right, and those interactions with Lyra at Bolvangar, they're filled with this strange mix of affection and menace.
It's unsettling.
It is. Almost like she sees something of herself in Lyra.
A kindred spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this psychological battle between them.
A battle for Lyra's soul, maybe?
Oh, maybe. Mrs. Coulter tries to manipulate her, appealing to her desire for knowledge, that longing for a mother figure. But Lyra senses the danger.
Thank goodness.
I know, right?
She trusts her gut.
She does. And with the help of Serafina Pekkala and Lee Scoresby, that amazing aeronaut, Lyra escapes.
A daring escape from Bolvangar, rescuing Roger, fleeing in Lee's balloon. It's harrowing.
Oh, tell me about it. It's a desperate flight across this frozen wilderness, a race against time and the elements, and then the balloon crashes.
And Lyra's separated from Roger and Iorek.
Chaos, despair. But even then, Lyra never gives up. She's determined to find Roger, to set things right.
She ends up at the palace of Raknison.
Oh, the Bear King. The one who usurped Iorek's rightful place.
Exactly. And you see Lyra's cunning and quick thinking.
In action. She tricks Iofur into believing she's a demon.
A being of immense power.
It's risky. But it shows you just how intelligent she is.
And how well she understands bear culture.
Right. She uses their desire for power to her advantage.
Brilliant. And it sets the stage for that epic confrontation between Iofur and Iorek.
Oh, that fight. A battle for the soul of the bears.
A fight against tyranny and oppression.
And Lyra, with her clever plan, helps Iorek win.
restoring him to his rightful place as king.
Triumphant. But short-lived, unfortunately. Iorek and Lyra continue north to find Lord Asriel. But as they get closer, she starts to feel uneasy.
Like something's not quite right.
Yeah, I think so too. Lord Asriel, he's a complex figure, driven by this grand vision to tear a hole in reality.
Reach another world.
Yeah. He believes dust is the key, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to reach his goal.
And that's when the book takes this devastating turn.
It does. We learn that Lyra, unknowingly, led Roger to his fate.
Lord Asriel uses Roger's energy to power his experiment.
Tears open the sky, steps into the unknown.
It's a gut punch.
It is. Lyra's journey, filled with adventure, discovery, but at a terrible cost. And we're left with so many questions.
So many. What is dust, really? What's waiting for Lyra in these other worlds? Can she ever set things right?
Pullman doesn't give us easy answers.
He makes us confront the complexities of morality, the nature of right and wrong, challenges us to think about knowledge, destiny, the choices we make.
It's so thought-provoking. The Golden Compass is just the beginning of Lyra's story, a journey that's going to take her to other worlds, test her beliefs, force her to confront her own destiny.
As you keep exploring his dark materials, consider this. What would you sacrifice in the pursuit of knowledge? What's the real cost of freedom? Can we escape our own destiny? These are the questions Pullman leaves us with.
So much to think about. And that's what we love about a good deep dive.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back soon with another exploration into the worlds you share with us.